Thank you, Deborah. That was beautiful. Wow. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us. And if you have a smartphone, maybe after the service you want to share the Facebook post and circulate this around the world, because I believe that the world right now needs a message of hope. The world right now needs to know that this is not the end of us. My topic today is no turning back. No turning back. My wife and I have, there's a son, and he's married and has kids, and we have a daughter who's like an adopted daughter. She's from Nepal, from Kathmandu, and she went through the earthquake in Kathmandu. She's been in medical school here in Iowa, and so now she's graduating from medical school. And we're so thrilled, and she found out Friday where she's going to go for her psychiatric residency. She's going to be a psychiatrist, and she applied all over the country, and she's going to have her residency in the same facility where I was a psychiatric chaplain. And so we're very, very excited about that. And I think back on all the difficulties she's gone through in her life. Being raised in Nepal and sometimes not always having all the advantages that we might have, and coming here and studying, and Olga Lucia and I becoming her American parents and working with her as she went through college and then went through medical school, and there's been lots of ups and downs. But she had her eyes set on a goal. And so no matter what, she continued to endure the course. Those classes are very, very difficult in medical school. If any of you have ever been in medical school, you know it's not easy. It's very, very difficult. And the course that we have signed up for in life is not easy. And we're getting a crash course right now with COVID-19. We may not have consciously chosen to be in this class. You might not have remembered registering for this class, but each and every one of us are in this class right now, learning what we really are, learning what is really important, learning what it is we took for granted. As I've been, it's been a very, very busy week. Lots of online meetings and phone meetings. I estimate that I had at least 30 this last week. And it was a very busy time as we were scrambling to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this? But ever since I came here, I've been wanting to really establish the virtual church. And I've sometimes wondered, and I mentioned this to Reverend Medora yesterday, I've sometimes wondered, what would it be like if all there was the virtual church? What would that be like? How would I go about that? And Medora said, I really wish you'd stop doing that. Wish you'd stop thinking about those things, because this stuff actually works. In any case, this is our opportunity, in my opinion, to not just try to survive, not to go into maintenance mode. This is not the time to just try to hold on. For me, this is not the time to survive. This is the time to thrive. This is the time for us to grow and expand and reach people in a way we've never reached before. So all of you who are watching this, I want to give you a message of hope. A message of hope about what we can learn during this time. Maybe like me, you have been taking hikes. When I've had the chance, I've been out hiking. I've never seen so many people out hiking and bicycling. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's like there's a contagion, an epidemic of fitness going on. Everyone's out exercising. I see them out on the hills. When I go out hiking, I see people on tops of the hills. It's amazing to me. And as I'm walking on the trails, I notice that people are more friendly than ever. More than ever, they ask, "How are you?" And they smile, and they seem genuinely interested in one another. I think it's because we realize that we're all in this together. More than ever, I see families out doing things together, bicycling, walking. It's amazing. Yesterday, as I was walking down the sidewalk, there were 2 children with their parents coming down on bicycles. And it was obvious that they did not all have good bicycle skills. And I was just trying to stay out of their way on the sidewalk. And the mom apologized and said, "I'm sorry, we're new at this." I love it that COVID-19 is pushing us into some new behaviors, like not taking for granted the things that we're blessed with, not taking for granted our families, having connection with people, having time to really connect and to connect with ourselves. I believe that it's very, very difficult in life if we do not know who we are. If we don't know who we are, everything else falls apart. When I was a child, I would sometimes get into a fight with one of my brothers. Those of you who know Reg, it'd be with Reg. And Reg and I would get into a fight, and my mom would send us both to our rooms for time out. And I remember how agitated I would be, how unfair this felt, that I would be sent to the room. I was the innocent victim, in my view. I thought, why am I being sent to my room? I would try to argue with my mom and tell her how my brother had started the fight. She did not want to hear it. She said, "Go to your room." I would go to my room. I would be so agitated, so angry. I'd be sweating and panting, and it's like, this is so unfair. My adrenaline would be rushing. And then I begin to take some deep breaths. No one taught me, really. I mean, my mom modeled this for me as a small child, but people didn't say to me, "Okay, now take some deep breaths." But I just learned that by taking a deep breath and getting into the present moment, I could become calm. I could relax. And in my time out, I would begin to relax. And then an amazing thing would happen. I would begin to feel peaceful. And then, I don't know why, because I was so angry a few minutes ago, I would actually begin to feel bliss. I'd wonder, where is that coming from? I now know that as I get quiet, bliss is my true nature. Bliss is your true nature. As we get calm, as we meditate, as we get centered in the presence, we get in touch with what we really are. We are light. We are bliss. We are consciousness. We are existence. We are not even this impermanent body or this impermanent condition. COVID-19 is teaching us how impermanent the situations around us are. With the stock market coming down, with us being sheltered in place, with businesses shutting their doors, we are learning that what has surrounded us is very impermanent. But within us, the true nature, the true self with a capital S, We are divine. We are bliss. And in that room, as I'd be in timeout, I'd say, wow, this feels better than going out and playing. This feels better than being in a fight. And I'd start to go into this state of bliss as a hyperactive young boy. And eventually my mom would knock on the door, and she'd open the door slowly, and she'd say, "Are you doing better now? Would you like to come out?" And there are times when I said to her, "No. I am doing better, but I don't want to come out yet. It's too peaceful." If a hyperactive 7-year-old can experience that, I know every one of us can experience that, because our true nature is peace. This is not a time for panic. It's not a time for fear. Yes, we're taking the precautions seriously. Yes, I want you to be safe. Yes, I want you to listen to the advice being given to us by our health officials. But this is not a time to live in fear. This is a time for us to live and operate and move in that presence. It's a time for us to focus on the goal. What is it that we're here to do? What is it that we've been longing to do? There's no time like right now. I know that as we are centered in the present moment, we connect with the presence. We connect with that one power. We connect with our bliss. We connect with that infinite presence that can never die, was never born, and that is what we really are. And we need to connect with people in the world who are in fear. I don't think it can be proven, but there's one person who stated that during the Black Plague, that yes, there were many people who died of the plague, and there were also many people who died of fear. I've thought, it's good to take precautions, but we do not need to live in fear. We don't believe in fear. We believe in the one power and the one presence. And so wherever you are, know that this is not a time to turn back. We've signed up for a very difficult course, but it's a good course. This week has been a difficult time of changes for all of us. It's difficult for me to not see all of you sitting here physically. It's difficult for me to not feel the physical hugs and love that we share together. It's difficult for me to see all the changes in the economy. And some of us are thinking, wow, those investments, what's happening? It's difficult for me to think about all the things that are going on in our world and those who are being affected by COVID-19. And yet, I'm in gratitude. I'm in gratitude that we're finally slowing down. I'm in gratitude that we're finally staying home some and taking a breath and going into the presence and really allowing ourselves to get to know ourselves and to get to know who we are. I'm really grateful that we are being loving to others and concerned about others and connecting with people around us and all over the world. I'm really grateful that while the COVID-19 experience is very difficult and has had lots of grief attached to it, I'm really grateful that it is teaching us how interconnected we all are, that we are all truly one. We can see it. It doesn't matter anymore if you are Iranian, Chinese, Italian, Spanish, American, whatever you are, we notice this disease has been touching many people all over the world. It's obvious we're all in this together. It's the time for us to be grounded in the truth that unity teaches, that there's only one power and one presence. And secondly, that power and presence shows up as each and every one of us, interconnecting us all. So as we hold truth together, as we know in prayer together, and I'm asking for us all to pray at the nines. Pray at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. when you can, or whatever time fits your schedule. And maybe you're praying throughout the day, great. But I'm asking for us to pray at the nines. This morning, there was a call put out by Marianne Williamson for a global day of world prayer, to pray for our world and all that is happening in our world. And it just so happened that in Pacific time, the time that she was asking for us to pray today was 9 a.m. I'm asking us to be holding all this in prayer, to show and to prove that we are all one and we are indestructible because we are all in the one presence. This is not a time to turn back. This is a time to go forward, not to just survive, but to thrive. Blessings to you all. Thank you for joining us. I'd like for you to repeat after me an affirmation. If you would please repeat after me. I am the presence of God in action. Where I am, God is, and all is well. I hold the world in my prayer consciousness, and I know no fear, only faith. I'm going to faith it, and so it is. Amen.